Hey guys, and welcome to Janet being Janet. Alright, y'all are used to this. I ain't even gonna pretend like you're not used to this. You see me in all different kinds of ways, and this time I just happen to be getting unready instead of ready. Alright, so what I want to do in this one is I'm going to read you a little post comment that Miss Katie left on her video. And then I also want to visit. I want to visit that video and just point out a couple of things to you, okay? And I'm just telling you. Just sit down and wait a moment. We gonna get through this, me and you, because that's how we always do it over here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start reading. Hi besties, Blake Lively allegedly threatened to expose private and personal text messages with Taylor Swift if Taylor refused to issue a public statement supporting her to the press. According to a new filing by Brian Friedman, Blake is accused of witness tampering and intimidation Taylor via her attorneys. In fact, Friedman claims Blake's attorney attempted to extort Taylor to comply. Blake is also accused of demanding Taylor destroy evidence. Before you go, please make sure you hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications so you never miss a video. As always, sound off below. Love, Katie Joy. Now we're going to go to an update. Y'all like that? She's getting all into it now. She's getting younger and younger by the day, by the post. I'm telling you. All right, we going to continue. We have an update. Also, Blake's attorneys are now denying the allegations, quote unquote. Unevocably. We all know Janet can't read. Okay. Deny all of these so-called allegations, which are cowardly, sourced to supposed anonymous sources and completely untethered from reality. He says on behalf of himself and Lively. He vows to hold them accountable by demanding sanctions from the court, which is hysterical since his film was also involved with the sham lawsuit. Oh, and one more of their firm's chairmen was involved with the college fraud case that helped rich kids get into Ivy League schools by fabricating test scores. So there's that. Gottlieb, meanwhile, further insists this is what we have come to expect from the Wayfair Party's lawyers, who appear to love nothing more than shooting first without any evidence and with no care for the people they are harming in the process. Sounds like what Blake and Ryan have done to Baldoni. He concludes, we will inimitedly file motions with the court to hold these attorneys accountable for their misconduct here. Can't wait, Michael. Friedman will respond by filing one against you. All right, I went ahead and read the description or the comment, the pin post, because I am going to now play with the video. Okay, I am. But y'all are getting an idea of what this video is about, because you know me. I chip, chop, and do this and that. All right, we're gonna press play.
Hey besties, it's Katie. We have so much we need to get into. Katie Joy, my channel without a crystal ball.
Thank you, Miss Katie, for clearing that up. Now, I think you need to repeat yourself a couple more times for everybody to hear you in the back.
We need to talk about something very serious, because yesterday, a law firm that was representing Taylor Swift responded to a subpoena that they had received from Wayfair in the end of April 28th, 2025, which coincides with the same day that Ryan Reynolds was unfollowed by Travis Kelce.
I told you that unfollowing by Travis, that was a big, huge dinger. She was going to point it out. She still is.
And now we might get to understand what is going on behind the scenes and why this unfollowing may have happened, because Wayfair is alleging that they are seeking relevant information based upon a very highly reliable source.
Miss Katie's over there bouncing up and down. She's getting all into it. You know why? Because she wants Taylor's private messages so daggum bad. She wants to be part of the in crowd, and she wants to know what goes on, you know, behind the curtain. Because we all know Miss Katie ain't ever gonna be there.
That there has been some alleged witness tampering and intimidation.
Yeah, you better put that word in there, because we know what alleged means, and you seem to forget it quite often.
By Lively and Reynolds against Taylor Swift. And this intimidation, it also involves the possibility of evidence spoliation.
Does it sound like she's got a little grin on her face? Does it? I kind of hear her having a little smugness in her voice.
Meaning someone was instructing someone else to delete evidence. This is very, very, very wild.
I'm going to say these are my opinions, only my opinions, and you know what? I'm here for I'm going to say I'm here for entertainment purposes only, to entertain you and to hopefully keep me just a little bit interested for the fun of it. I think there was someone else who was told not to delete any messages. I recall that.
So we were a little confused yesterday when Venable, the attorneys that represent Swift, said that they didn't have any involvement in the film. They didn't know anything about the film. They took no position on the lawsuits. They took no position on the truth because they couldn't verify the truth of either side. It was a statement that a lot of us that have been following this thought was a little bit, whoa.
Whoa! Our famous journalist is a little shocked. I mean, somebody's just not putting things right across the plate for her. She's having to get a little bit more information. Maybe it comes from other channels. Maybe. Could be a possibility.
Swift, who has been someone that has been a champion for women in that she has supported other women that have come forward with claims of either SA or SH. Most notably, she gave money to Kesha, $250,000 to sue her former producer when Kesha came forward.
Miss Katie will announce that over and over and over again, and I think I got the point of it. A lot of money was spent by Miss Taylor Swift, and most likely it didn't bother her ting at all.
And accused Dr. Luke of SA. So Miss Taylor Swift's silence felt very weird. And then there was all these back and forths with,
y'all like Miss Taylor Swift? Miss Katie, what happened to Tay?
Blake's camp trying very hard to make it seem like she and Taylor were still besties. And Taylor's side being very much like feeling exploited, feeling betrayed, not really knowing what to think about things, which again felt weird because...
Guys, we got a top-notch journalist over here that is having to use the word wow and weird. Digressing a few ages, Miss Katie?
If your best friend was SA'd, how does it come back to being exploited? And referencing the lawsuit that Justin filed, which was that Blake was using Taylor as a dragon. Well, it sounds like the dragon issue is maybe what they're putting out to public, but...
And Miss Katie just can't wait to read some text messages. You know she's gonna be jumping up on cloud 9.
But Brian Friedman gave us some information. So yesterday, the Venable LLP denies that they have any relevant information about the film, not about the action, okay, about the film.
Hey, do y'all realize it's about the film? It's the film. Are y'all listening? It's about the film. Man, our favorite reporter. She's getting better and better by every day, huh?
And again, all of this is alleged, so you have to kind of take it for what a grain of salt.
Yeah, you better use that word. You better use it. You hardly ever use that word, and so you get yourself in trouble sometimes.
Based on information from a source who is highly likely to have reliable information, I'm assuming this is someone that's close to Ryan and Blake or close to Taylor, that Miss Lively requested that Taylor Swift delete their text messages, and that Michael Gottlieb of Wilkie Farr, counsel for the Lively defendants, contacted a Venable attorney who represents Miss Swift and demanded that Miss Swift release a statement of support for Miss Lively, intimating that if Miss Swift refused to do so, private text messages of a personal nature in Miss Lively's possession would be released.
Guys, think about it. If she was able to get a hold of Taylor's text messages, you know she's going to out them all over this daggone channel.
And believed that a representative of Miss Swift addressed these inappropriate and apparently extortionate threats in at least one written communication transmitted to Mr. Gottlieb. It is those communications that the Wayfair parties seek to obtain by way of subpoena, as they would be evidence an attempt to intimidate and coerce a percipient witness in this litigation.
Don't you love how she goes and pulls these dagblame documents and just read them over on her channel and make them videos longer and longer, and half of it's irrelevant?
Did you hear that? So Lively's allegedly directing Taylor to delete text message. Okay. Here's how you can tell there's been a breakdown in this relationship. Taylor Swift has basically been in hiding since all of this kicked off, and she doesn't want to be in the public, right? She just got off her biggest tour ever in Eras, and she obviously needed some downtime with her boyfriend.
Y'all know something? I think Miss Katie may be just a little mad that she didn't get to go to that concert. She hasn't seen Miss Taylor in person. I think there might be just a little bit of animosity there.
But if Blake was sending messages to attorneys and sending messages through attorneys to reach Taylor, that almost suggests that they're not on speaking terms. Like if you are going through your attorneys to have to talk to someone who's supposed to be your best friend, it sounds like there's a breakdown here.
She has been trying to say forever now that them two aren't friends, them two have nothing to do with each other. So at this point, she's a little happy that she's actually been right.
And what they're alleging against Michael Gottlieb is very serious misconduct by an attorney if it's true, because that would implicate him in possible witness tampering and witness intimidation, which is a felony. And it's part of what's called obstruction of justice. And if he made a threat that...
She sure is throwing that word around a lot, huh? Threat. Yeah, she getting all into it.
If she didn't give a statement of support, private text messages of a personal nature in her possession would be released. I don't know what kind of personal texts that she has, Lively would have. I mean, if you think about when you text with your best friends, you probably say a lot of stupid crap. But, I'm not going to say that she has inappropriate photos of her, but...
Miss Katie, do you have any friends left so that you would be able to speak on this topic?
What this sounds like is very similar to what Lively and Reynolds did, where they wanted Justin to issue that statement that they wrote, basically taking ownership for all of the failures on the film. And then when they didn't do that, they said the gloves would come off. And the other allegation is that Blake was using these false allegations of harassment on the set and would say to them, well, if you don't do this, I'm going to go run to the New York Times.
Y'all remember her canceling her subscription to the New York Times? Y'all remember that? She made a big deal. She was posting and making videos and everything else. Do you even think she was registered with them?
And I'm going to ruin your reputation. So would it be outside the possibility that she might do this to someone who's a quote unquote friend?
And you have turned against every single one of your quote unquote friends.
What if it's not just Miss Lively that's doing this, but it's Mr. Reynolds that's the one sort of pushing Blake to do it? You know what I mean? But I believe now it would make sense if this is true. This would make sense why Taylor or Travis Kelce would unfollow Ryan. Like if...
Sound the alarm. Miss Katie's putting out that Ryan Reynolds and Travis Kelce are no longer following each other. Or maybe it's just Travis unfollowing Ryan. Either way, she's happy.
Your girlfriend was a friend with these people, and these people were threatening to destroy her and humiliate her and try to embarrass her in order to comply with them. I would unfollow them too. What else are they doing to their friends? What kind of stuff do they have over their heads?
Miss Katie, don't you like holding things over somebody else's head, especially your friends? Because you're the first one to out them if you get the chance.
Right? And then the other part was that Swift addressed the inappropriate and apparently extortionate threats in at least one written communication transmitted to Mr. Gottlieb. So somebody who is privy to these emails and communications and threats, someone who is, again, close to Swift or close to Blake.
All right, now here's where the jealousy kicks in because Miss Katie ain't got that source now, does she?
Is speaking to Wayfair that we don't know about. And they would have close enough proximity to them that they would be telling them this information because they're close confidant.
That's not any kind of confidant I would want, telling all my secrets first chance they get.
Or they work at one of the law firms. I don't know. But again, these are very serious allegations, and this is definitely not about the film. And so, is that why she doesn't want to get dragged into this? Is that why? Is that why when she said publicly that she wasn't a part of the film, she wasn't part of the casting, she licensed her song?
Would you make a little bit of sense? Who wants to be brought into a lawsuit? I don't know anybody who willingly says, I want to be part of this. Most people try to stay away from courtrooms.
She didn't make editorial decisions and really downplaying everything that Blake said publicly about her, making her look like a liar, right? And not saying anything about supporting Blake. In fact, Swift has gone out of her way through her public statements to not at all whatsoever, not at all whatsoever, support Blake in any way.
Did y'all catch that? Miss Katie's been after America's Sweetheart this entire time, so why wouldn't she go ahead and drag that one out?
And is this why? Is she not bending to their demands because she's been threatened? And is she saying she doesn't want to be involved because she's been threatened? That's pretty serious.
Once again, Miss Katie, who wants to be involved with the lawsuit? People don't go and see courtrooms just for the fun of it.
I would think that Taylor would have information on this case. At a minimum, because she's friends with Blake. At a minimum, because her song was involved. At a minimum, because she was at the penthouse the night when they all came, when Baldoni was there and she wanted them to use the rooftop scene. So what they're accusing them of is witness intimidation, which is even in a civil case, it's a serious issue and it can have federal implications under the code 1512.
And I'm not including that code because if you want to see it, you can go look it up yourself, which Miss Katie doesn't give her audience a chance to do that.
What they're alleging is that they're trying to influence Taylor not to share what she knows, which kind of begs the question, what have they told other people to keep them on their side? You know what I mean?
Oh, I know you want to search for them people and you want them people to become your source. Worse than anything in this world now, huh?
And people that get that high up in Hollywood and become that entitled do begin to think they're above the law.
Well, then you think you're above the law because you get away with so much crap.
So if this is true, that would be very damning. And it would also explain why Taylor has been so silent on all of this and why she hasn't been supportive. And if it's true that this happened, it would be awful if you're Taylor because it's supposedly your best friend making these threats against you.
Don't you like how she emphasizes best friend? She's a little jealous.
So even before It Ends With Us was released in theaters, Taylor was on tour and she was in a new relationship with Travis. And Blake and her didn't really appear together that much. She was at the Super Bowl with her and in 2023.
And I've already done a video on how much that bothered you.
And then they went out to dinner in like October of 2024. And that's the last time they've been seen public together. I do wonder if this relationship strain was happening before the case even was filed because of what they might have, the pressure they might have been putting her under. It also makes me wonder if threats were made to individuals for the use of songs in the movie.
Miss Katie's going on and on. Yeah, I'm saying Miss Katie because I haven't said in a little bit. Miss Katie's going on and on about this daggone song. She probably didn't want that song in there anyways, but now that it is, she gets to talk as much smack as she wants. Alright guys, there's my video for the day. Did y'all learn anything? Did she teach anything new? Do you have any feelings about it? Oh, I have lots of feelings about it when it comes to it. That's why I'm bringing it to you. But I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, holiday, year, whenever you might be watching this, and remember to smile today or make somebody else smile because it really can make a difference. Y'all like stuff like these? Do you want me to bring more like this to you whenever she's doing the videos and I can get something out of it? Something a little entertaining, a little fun. If y'all do, let me know in the comments below. Just do that for me and I'll try to continue to bring them to you. But y'all, make sure you have a good one for me. Bye!